What is going on, Roland Empire here? Guys, give you a video. I'm continuing on my Cobra Kai season reviews. Okay, I talked about the first one and showed how much I really appreciated that, how much that set up the lore, like how it reintroduced characters, how it introduced new characters, and building up this whole this family saga thing, having a fresh still creativity of more people coming in, realizing the awareness, but still bringing in the seriousness, knowing what how where definitely is the series. Just how I liked it that if we wanted more seasons, I welcome it. But also as a season alone, I liked it. It had a I had a good time, and it was a blast of a show, of a season, of a series. And now, well, can season two really live up to it? Does that maybe go against anything? Does it go against what, like, more things of what I liked? Or does it continue on evolving? Does it continue on just showing how much I continue to love these characters and adding more depth, adding more kind of anything you would, how you would a trilogy standard of a film? Does it add more conflict? Do you have more complexities and all that? So season two, I finally caught up a bit, and I liked how it just keeps building on the family and everything, keeps building on relationship. Again, like I told you, Johnny Lawrence is now, from a certain point of view, the main protagonist, but you still have everybody complimentary. Like Daniel, he's one of the first protagonists of the series still, so they still give him enough spotlight. You still kind of see more that even though it's Johnny who you're supposed to feel with, everybody gets their share of how everybody has an explanation. Like, explain yourself. Everybody has a say for that. So I really keep continuing to just love this show. Okay, it really is so good. It's entertaining. Again, it continues on with the cheesiness. You get more of now, like, John Kreese is back. So with him and Johnny, they teach Cobra Kai, and a lot also of Johnny trying to give people second chances. So it's fair enough with the choices he did, but knowing as an audience, the audience realizing John, oh, Kreese, you always have something up your sleeve, and as an actor, how he portrays him. You're like, yeah, no matter what, like, there's something there. And I really did enjoy that, and seeing how Johnny, he keeps getting manipulated. He gets getting manipulated with all this, but then, throughout this too, he still sees some realism. He realizes, like when he goes with his friends and then comes back, which was a nice scene, a nice little scene. But when he comes back and sees how his students are acting, he starts chipping away. He chips away of what really goes on and everything. So, I like this layer. I like the layer what went on. Again, with the way it is with the length of the show and how there's only 10 episodes, they don't waste time. They really don't waste time. You get to what you need to with plots, and then you get certain revelations and all. And you want maybe a little bit more to kind of marinate, to cater, to kind of develop, but it also doesn't waste time. It doesn't waste the time, so you believe it enough. And I really enjoy these kinds of switches and all that. Again, it's not the perfect show, but there's nuances of how I liked it, and I still do enjoy the series. Okay, everybody. Everybody has their cup of tea of what they like for shows, and I just really like this. I like this how it gels. Really, again, this is a story. This one is just, it focuses on its story, and then we go from the narrative there of all characters, and there's a lot to take in this. Okay, yeah, Daniel's having more conflict with his wife. His wife wants to cater to the time of the dealership they have, which I wish she would be more on his side, but I understand too. And but Daniel, you should have a bit of both. Try to control your balance, and he needs to. That's his kind of arc. He needs to realize that either you gotta have to choose one. You really gotta have to know. You have your career job kind of thing. You have your karate life to your job with your new students, and he's trying to get because he has his daughter and Johnny's son as his main proteges. But then throughout it too, you get more students coming in, and I like that process too of how it really means for him, and getting him, with good old Miyagi's in a way always getting interjected with Daniel. So I like how the creators really make it welcomed. Yeah, you can tell, like, how Mandalorian is made by people who love Star Wars. Cobra Kai is made by people who like the Karate Kid. So I'm aware of that. And I can enjoy that much. That what makes it really appreciable. And yeah, you have a lot of, yeah, you will say that the teen drama's there, and that drama is so soap opera, and there's a double standard. Like, you're like, yeah, but you don't like it in this, but you like it in this. Yeah, but I still find it enjoyable because there's more also for me, and I'm not one of those that is in the full demographic where I'm in the same age as Johnny and Daniel. Okay, I'm more side also with the younger, the teens and the older adults, that kind of drama. Okay, that's still my demographic, but knowing because of these two being the OGs of this series, it's always nice when they pander back at them, whether they almost make up, but then there's always a situation, and then one of them always lets their temper get the best, and we're back to like hitting each other. You want to see eventually them kind of make amends and just kind of just continue on to just be more careful and mindful of each other's like feelings. But it's also fun to see that tension, but you can tell that that's not how it's always going to be. There's always like everything, they had sprinkles of character motivations here and there. You see that they might get along, but for the time being there's this conflict, and it just doesn't help that Kreese is there. Kreese trying to get the students to kind of go attack Miyagi-Do, and but then if only Johnny knew more. Is like telling Daniel, what are you talking about? But Daniel, maybe just because he doesn't want to get accepted, he thinks everything's his fault. There's that conflict also that they try to blame one another even though they're innocently. And you want to see more of this because of what goes on with the people they're with, and then all their students are engaging in a war, which, oh my god, what an incredible but also fun and cheesy just school sequence. And you're like, you guys are fighting close to here, you guys are fighting too close to that, and yeah, repercussions and all that, and you want to root with someone, but then someone else does a certain kind of a motif, and you're like, man, whatever happens. You guys all got what you deserve, but you still, like I said, you love everybody more than others, but you understand people's motives, whether they're the bad guys and good guys. That's why I like the bad guys are good guys. And there was a nice line here that said about the gray. I think it was within Johnny said it to, I think, Miguel or his all students, and that kind of did summarize the series for me. It's about the gray that goes on. So like, that's what I really am enjoying on this. There is enough time. Just, I'm amazed of how much there is to care with everybody, and there's still certain kind of things you're like, really, but then you're like, what, it makes sense. I like how there is subversions, but they add on to the story. It's not so left field kind of thing. It goes on with the narrative. You give it a chance, and then you care. Like Johnny going to go out with Miguel's mother, and that's a funny sequence too, with Daniel and Johnny across each other at that dinner restaurant table, and then dancing and all. It was awkward, it was funny, and then that's a bit of the whole where they resolved a bit before. Again, always shit hits something, and you realize, damn, they were this close. So it's all it really is enjoyable, and you realize a lot also with Kreese realizing how he says one thing, how he is another thing. Johnny, you're like, you want to as well. You're like, give this person a chance, but they're not going to change. It's interesting. They're not going to change, even though you like a little bit of when they both do team up, but it just doesn't last forever. And it shows how, yeah, some people change, some people don't. It's hard. Some people can change for whatever, the better good. Other people, you might have to, it's more difficult. It's hard to chip. It's that interesting way of just how you just see life and all. And seeing then Miguel with his friends and having everybody like have little rivalries here. Just shout outs to like when those two newer students come in, and then how they each go their own ways too. The more nerdier people too, when they give their fights too. And yeah, just more of Robbie's story where he, finally his mom admits certain things. So, he has to give a shout to his dad. Like, his dad wasn't the greatest, but he's trying. And, they give that little bit of a thank you kind of thing, of thank you when they can, of the gesture. But like, always, there's something always going, then eventually that just ruins it. That just ruins it in that kind of way. But you want to see more. It gives you enough. You're like, well, this is nice. That I'm like, okay, now I'm on board. That you had a perfect, fun little first season. Now second season just opens up for more things. You have a little bit more stories to tell, and then yeah, I like how it goes into the Karate Kid mythology. It brings back certain kind of callbacks and all, and then also just leading up to things that could go on. But with this too, bringing in the new stories. Oh, that's a bit of a campiness. There's a bit of a cheesiness, but I have a good time because the characters, it's an investment that, they know each other. How like, Hawk and Dimitri, that kind of storyline, it's fun and games. It's like, you understood where they came from and where they are now. And then, having just like, with Tories and the Robbies and the Sams and the Miguels, maybe we're like, okay, let's not get too mushy romantic, whatever. But I still like how there are certain ways where like characters think they want to kind of change, but then they still have feelings for people. So there's all these there's just these simple kind of decisions. There's these things of like people want to move on, but they also still feel the way they feel. And it's funny to know how the characters all develop from the first to the second season, realizing now that certain ways are being shaped up with how they all are, thanks to their karate, senseis and their teachers and their students, the people they're classmates with, just their classes. And it just shows, and it takes a toll on the two main guys. The two main guys need to realize that there are ways to get stuff done, but there are ways to get stuff done in a way where it could be very more unique. It doesn't have to be the original way. It should be their own interpretation. Like, maybe inject some of what you can differently and change, make it better with the way where, you feel is right, kind of thing. And yeah, it is an overall just an entertaining show, and it really is good, and I can't wait to see more of it. I really can't wait to see more of it. It does help if you want to be a fan, like if you have to be a fan, but also if you kind of wanted to give it a shot to, it catches you up. It like definitely catches you up with the show, and you still get investment. So there is a bit of how you approach and just perceive the series. But let me know, guys, what you think. If you're not a fan, it's getting too cheesy, cheesy camping, or if you really are liking it, you're a big fan that just adores this mythology of this series kind of thing. Again, guys, these are always my thoughts and opinions. I enjoy the series. I like how campy and how just cheesy the series is, but it's still very entertaining and well worth the investment. So all this in the comments below, and as always, Rolling Empire, laugh, smile, repeat.